When my friend Gnome challenges you to a Sazerac riff, I think, is my name not old-fashioned ways? Wait, does that really work? Let's go. Welcome back to Old Fashioned Ways. I'm Doc Martinez, and my buddy Gnome put out there a challenge, a Sazerac riff challenge. Now his birthday's coming up, so happy birthday, because this is gonna be coming out right before your birthday. And it got my juices thinking, you know, I like a Sazerac. It's pretty much an old-fashioned with an extra step. So that's why I think it kind of falls pretty much into my wheelhouse. Perfect, you know? When going into this, I started having all these different kinds of ideas. So instead of just making one, I'm going to cheat. I'm going to make multiples. I know. Probably shouldn't do multiples in a challenge, but I figured these are three very different riffs on a Sazerac, and I didn't know which one to try. So time to jump into this Gnome Sazerac challenge. I'm going to get set up for this first one. Now this first one is called Le Fruit Défendu au Cacao, translating to the forbidden fruit with a touch of chocolate. This one is indulgence with restraint. Fig and cacao linger beneath spice and anise. Dark and inviting, but never indulgent enough to forgive. Measured and deliberate, it never asks permission. Well, this one will be made in a mixing glass. And we're going to start off with the simple syrup. So what we did here is a fig simple syrup. I'm calling it figgy simple syrup. You only need a 1/4 ounce, but you can go, if you want it sweeter, go up to a 1/2 ounce. This is a nice thick syrup, lots of flavor in it. I'll have how to make this in the description below. Next is the bitters, and we're gonna have some Peychaud bitters in this. Very common in a Sazerac. The person who invented this is actually who designed the first Sazerac, according to history. 1, 2 dashes of that. Now, we need to, level this up, make it extra special and extra chocolatey. So of course, it's Gnome's challenge. I'm gonna be using Gnome's chocolate bitters. So I recommend at least 1, but it's Gnome, so we'll do 2 chocolate bitters. Next is the fun ingredients, the spirits. So we're gonna start off with some rye. Now I'm gonna use this Sazerac 125 foolproof rye. This has been kicking some butt. You want a whole full ounce of this. Now I did a video with this where I put this up against Handy, Thomas H. Handy. So if you haven't seen that video and you want to see who won, I'll link that video right here. But 1 ounce, you said, is that enough for a spirit? No, we got another spirit coming in here, and yep. Whoa. Bam. Pierre Fernand, or however you pronounce it. I'm sure I'm gonna get killed on my pronunciation of the drink. Ooh, nice pop. Another whole ounce of this cognac. This is gonna liven it up, add some of that sweetness, some nice silkiness on the tongue. Make it a little bit more indulgent. We're gonna add some ice to this, and it's perfect because I have the glass here. So I'm just gonna dump that ice in there, and we're gonna stir this up. Now, this one's okay to stir a little extra because when you put this into the glass, there's not gonna be any ice in that glass. You put it directly in the glass with no ice. All right, so I'm gonna move this right now to the side here because let's get the glass prepped. So you definitely want a nice chilled glass. So this was in the freezer overnight. And to prep this, we're actually doing something a little special. So you normally use absinthe, which I am doing. But if you look on here, it's absinthe infused with cacao. Shake this up. Now, you're gonna think, oh, that's chocolatey and sweeter. Nope, it's actually bitter. So I'll add a nice bitterness to it. So there we go. Want to just put some nice sprays in here. Make sure covering that whole glass. Actually smells actually pretty good. And let's strain this into this glass. You don't want to waste any of that forbidden fruit, do you? Move this to the side. We're missing 1 ingredient. I almost forgot, and I'm gonna have to stir it up just a tiny bit more in here. I want a little pinch of salt, just a tiny bit of salt. That salt's gonna bring out more of those fig flavors, that chocolate flavor in there as well. So do that in the glass, not in here. I mean, in the stirring, not in here, but let me just put that in here, stir it up just a little bit more. We're also gonna get some orange, get a nice little section of it, and we're just gonna squeeze the orange over the top, wipe the outside and the inside of that glass. Now, I'm not gonna use it as a garnish, I'm not even gonna use it in there, just gonna throw it off to the side. All right, now for the fun part. Time to go in and taste this one. On the nose, you actually get that orange with a little bit of that licorice on it. But it's actually not overbearing. So that aroma is actually already nice up front, making me like, ooh, my mouth is already drooling. Just talking about it and smelling that, oh, that smells delicious. All right, guys, cheers. And happy birthday, Gnome. Whoa, that is delicious and indulging and make me want more. I'm going for another drink. Oh yeah. And the crazy thing is, this is just the first one. Can't wait to make the next two. I really love that first one, but this next one is a Louisiana riff, and I'm calling this one Voodoo Sazerac. This drink isn't for everyone, and that is intentional. The Voodoo Sazerac is a spirit-forward and ritualistic, built on cognac finished whiskey, dark cane sugar, absinthe, and a restrained Louisiana heat that unfolds slowly. Take your time because this one bites back. All right. Once again, made in a mixing glass. Gonna have the ice in it already. Start off with the bitters. We're gonna do a good 1, 2, 3 dashes of Peychaud's bitters. Next is a 90-10% brown sugar to molasses, Louisiana blackstrap molasses. That molasses is gonna add some different flavors, bring out some of that flavors in that cognac finish, and just take this to another level. So, 1/4 ounce of that. Nice, dark, and thick. Of course, instructions on how to make this will be in the description below. Next is, of course, the cognac finish. Now, I'm going to use Whiskey Tree. I wonder why. Do I get any points for that? This is not only any Whiskey Tree, but look at that. Whiskey Tree, cognac finish, but look in the middle there. Nancy's Unworldly Barrel. Unworldly perfect for this voodoo. Full 2 ounces of this. Don't be stingy with that spirit. The spirits of the voodoo world like extra spirit. Now we're gonna stir this up. And remember, you can stir this until it's nice and chill because you're gonna pour this into a glass that doesn't have any ice in it. All right, let's set that over to the side for now. Once again, nice chill glass. Make sure that's nice and chilled. I figured being voodoo, the skull is perfect for this. Now we're gonna prep this, and instead of using Sazerac, we're gonna use the one absinthe because this one is considered for New Orleans the official Sazerac cocktail. I actually picked this up at the Sazerac house many moons ago. Now I wish I had another, little mister thing, but I don't. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pour some in here, and we're just gonna put it along this whole glass here, making sure to coat all the sides as high as you can go and as much as you can cover. Unfortunately, there is going to be some waste, and I don't like that, but it is what it is. Maybe I'll taste that afterwards so I don't waste it. So strain this into there, trying to keep as much of that ice out as possible. I did mention there's a little bit of Louisiana heat to this, so you're probably wondering, where is that heat? This is kind of like the Louisiana icing on top. So what you're going to do is get some Louisiana hot sauce. Yep. Recommend starting with 1 dash, but if you're really brave, you might do 2. I did forget one thing, and I don't want to forget it. We want that nice orange peel once again. Add to that aroma over the top. Probably a bigger, let's do a bigger one than that one, right? Now, once again, it doesn't have to be pretty. I'm not using this as garnish. I just need to put those oils over the top and then kind of on the side. All right, I know I'm ready for this one. That Louisiana hot sauce hits the nostrils pretty quickly with a little bit of citrus in the background. This one's definitely going to be different. Cheers. Ooh, interesting. Very, very different than I thought. You actually get a lot of that Sazerac forward, and there it is, kicking in now at the end. A little bit of that heat that kind of just sneaks up on you. Honestly, not very hot for this Texan. I could probably do 2 dashes, but I'm gonna go for another drink. This one's different and special in a nice way. Definitely like this one. Very Sazerac forward, very nice balanced Sazerac. And then you get that little heat just coming in at the end. I honestly think it needs one more. So I'm gonna add one more to this. Need a little bit of that extra heat. Now I don't want to stir it up because I want it to be kind of sparse. I want it to come in sometimes not come in. So that's why I'm not stirring, if you're wondering. So let's go in for another drink again. A lot stronger on the nose. See, that's nice because I think it's a little bit more dense, so it kind of sits at the bottom of the drink. Because you're drinking it, you don't really taste it. You just taste the Sazerac, and then at the end, a little bit of it just kind of goes into your mouth and just leaves a little tinge on the tongue. Nothing too crazy, really. A good drink with a little sneaker in the end. I like my Voodoo Sazerac. All right, that's 2 out of 3. We got one more to come. Let me get that one set up. All right, this is my third one, my last one, but not least. Now, this is my French twist on a Sazerac, and I'm calling it un Sazerac, s'il vous plaît. If you know, you know. This isn't a twist, it's a translation. Cognac forward, softly aromatic, and meant to be savored. Served neat, without explanation. Take your time. This was made for that. All right, once again, we're gonna make this in the mixing glass, except we're gonna do a little bit different. We're gonna take the orange peel and a sugar. Now you're gonna squeeze this just lightly. You wanna kind of get the oils to start coming out of the peel, but not solely, not overexpress it. Then you're gonna get that and you're gonna rub this on all sides here. Just adding that little bit of orange to the sugar. And then you're gonna squeeze a little bit over it, turn it around, and just get those oils all over this. Adding it to it, rubbing it, and just making it little hint of orange in that. Now we're not done. We're gonna use some absinthe. So we're gonna be using this one, Pernod. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but this is actually made in Paris. I did put it into a little jar to make it easier to do. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take some on a dropper here and just pour it over and let it kind of start soaking in, but pour it over a little bit more and soaking in and a little bit more, letting that soak in here. You want the sugar to absorb it. You don't really want it to go into the glass. And just a little bit more there. That sugar looks super hungry for this, absorbing every single drop. Now, if you ever had absinthe before, sometimes they light that. And I thought about doing that with this one. So maybe if you want to play with it a little bit, you can light this on fire, but I want that orange to stay in there. I don't want to burn that off. But man, adding a little bit of burnt sugar kind of caramel would probably actually be really good. All right, we're gonna drop that to the bottom of the glass there. Now with this one, I'm gonna add some vanilla bitters, and I have Bob's vanilla bitters here. So I want one good dash of that. I'm just gonna put it right over that sugar as well. And we're gonna do also some orange bitters and only one dash of this. So I don't want the bitters to overtake this drink. So that's why I'm only using one dash of it. Now it's time for that spirit, and we're definitely gonna use a nice good cognac made in France. Nice little sound there. And we're gonna pour a nice 2 ounces of this in here. Put that in there. And I'm gonna add some ice. Now I've been chilling the glass. As you know, you need a chilled glass for this. Dump all that ice in there. Set the glass over to the side for now. And we're gonna stir this up. Now you're probably, make sure to chill this, make it nice and chilled. You put it into a nice chilled glass, but no ice. So most of the chill is gonna come from this stir. But at the same time, don't over chill it. You don't wanna water down that delicious cognac too quickly. So we're gonna move this to the side for now, and we're gonna get this glass. Now you're like, you use the absinthe in the sugar, so what do you plan to wash it out? Because for a Sazerac, you have to have a wash in that glass. Well, I decided to step it up a notch, and I'm actually gonna be using this. It's Vieux Pinot de Charentes. It's a Pinot de Charentes Controlal. And the thing about this is it's gonna highlight that cognac in here. It's gonna step up that flavor. And the reason it's gonna do that is just because this is made with the grape leaves that they use to make cognac. So just enough in there so we can wash it. Turn this sideways, make sure we get it all over the glass. And normally you just throw that out, but I've never tried this, so I'm gonna pour this in here so I can try it afterwards. I just don't want to try it before and mess up my palate. Let's strain this in here. And you can go ahead and either get a new orange peel or get that one, because we didn't squeeze it all out, and just squeeze this over the top, expressing the rest of those oils on the inside and outside. And there you have it. Un Sazerac, s'il vous plaît. All right, now for the best part. Get to go in and try this. Ooh, over the nose, citrus delicacy. It's rather decadent on the nose as well. Ooh. That smells amazing. All right, my friends, cheers. Ooh. So on this one, the absinthe does come through. Comes nice in the front. Cognac slowly takes over. There's a nice silkiness on the tongue. The aromas are just hitting that nose. Now, originally when I wanted to make this one, I was thinking of just adding 3 or 4 drops to that sugar. As I was making it, it kept calling me to add more. So if you really like absinthe, do as much as I did. If you want just a hint of absinthe, if you want just a hint of the absinthe, put like 4, 5, 6 drops on it and max it out there. It is nice in here, and that absinthe comes in the front. But man, that cognac is really, really good in this. Really nice. And this is just on the nose. There's a silkiness to the end of it that I just kind of like. Now, this drink, I really like it. I like the way it is. As I'm sipping it right now, though, I'm kind of wanting a hint of chocolate. There's some chocolate notes in the background. So maybe a dash of chocolate bitters could also make this a little bit different, make it a little bit more like a after dinner kind of cocktail with a nice spirit forward, but with a little bit of sweetness in the end. So I think you can go that route as well. But for the contest, I want to try it this way first. And then afterwards, Gnome, if you want, add that little bit of bitters, add that little bit of chocolate Gnome bitters. Ooh, all drinks are freaking amazing. I love them all. Happy birthday to you. I thank you for this challenge. It was a nice, good challenge, making me think outside the box. I haven't done that in a while, where I sit down and really compile drink and kind of look at all the different aspects and the different flavors to make it as balanced as all three of these were. All three were Sazerac riffs. All three were completely different, and all three I would not mind having at a bar and paying some pretty good money for them. So these are my three, not one, not two, but three Sazerac riffs entered into Gnome's Sazerac Challenge. Thank you, my friends, for joining me on another journey down my Sazerac rabbit hole. To our next journey, my friends. Cheers.